What's up, everybody? This is Randy from Hope at Hand here in Franklin, Indiana. We just finished playing a show. Just want to give you an update on how the last week has been, starting last Monday, the 27th. This is John. He just ran sound for us.
Hey, I just ran sound for these guys. They're awesome.
Last Monday, we were in Crossville, Tennessee, and we played at a venue there. And driving there, we just really felt like there's a lot of warfare going on. We got stuck in this crazy traffic on I-40, and then so we just decided to pray in tongues for about an hour and a half on the way, and just we're like, forget this. If we're gonna have warfare, we're gonna it's gonna kick us up a notch. So we prayed in the Spirit for about an hour and a half straight. And we get to the venue, and it's crazy. There's chaos everywhere. None of the bands know what's going on. Everybody's showing up late, and there's just crazy stuff. So everybody's starting to get a little on edge, and so I just take a walk, and I'm like, okay, Lord, what's going on? And I just got this download from the Lord about witchcraft, and so we get up on stage, start playing, and right before we played, I said, hey, dudes, just keep your armor up. I just feel like there's a lot of witchcraft. So we just stood up on stage and took authority over it in the name of Jesus and began to play. And as we played, we just felt the dominion as a fly, the dominion of the kingdom, the dominion of Jesus just released. We felt light go forth, and we really felt a breakthrough just from the set itself. And so, the kingdom, the kingdom of light. So we get off stage, and the whole set, Aaron is playing. When he's playing, he keeps on closing his eyes, and he keeps on seeing this demonic figure of an eagle with just like this weird body. And every time he closes his eyes, and it's like really distracting him, and he's kind of battling it the whole time we're on stage. So he gets off and he tells me about it, and I was like, yeah, man, we're under some serious stuff here. So we go outside, and there's a convenience store right next door called the Eagle's Nest. And we're like, huh, that's interesting. So we walk in there, and we see all this just occultish stuff and witchcraft stuff and all this stuff that they're selling. And we're like, wow, this is really intense. And we walk back out, and Josh and Aaron find out from the lady that runs the place that the mountain that the venue's on in Crossville was a gathering place for occult and Satan worship in the late 80s, where they actually did human sacrifices on that mountain. And so we realized, holy cow, we're in the middle of the darkest of the darkest here. So we just started going for it, and then a couple of the bands got on stage and worship. So we really felt like we broke through during the set. So we start praying for people, and the guy gets healed of a knee problem that he had. He couldn't stand on it. He got healed. We prayed for a girl with throat cancer. The doctors couldn't figure out what it was, but she would just go hoarse immediately. So we prayed for her. She got healed. She felt heat go through her throat. She got healed. And then we met this kid named Michael, and he's 13 years old. He lived on that mountain, and which had turned into a haven for drugs. It's a gathering point for drug dealing and prostitution. Now that the mountain that used to be the satanic worship place, he lives on that mountain. His mom works at a psychiatric ward all night, so she sleeps all day. His dad's in jail. He's in a custody battle right now. There's a war for his life. His life is hanging in the balance. He's got on all kinds of medication, 13 years old. So I just grabbed him and started holding him and just started prophesying over his life and his destiny. And just breaking off all I could in that, the 5 minutes I had with him. And it was really intense. It's really intense. And Josh prayed for him, Aaron prayed for him. But we really felt like mostly that night was just, we went to Crossville to release. Ephesians 2 says that the manifold wisdom of God would be made known to powers and principalities. And so we felt like that night we were putting a stake in the ground and releasing light in the kingdom and dominion of Jesus at Crossville. The next night we went to the Ultimate Basement in Mill Springs, North Carolina. And that place was nuts. It was this glorified arcade, and it was like a Tuesday night, and nobody was there. So we just played and worshiped Jesus, and then jumped in the river, and then headed to Richmond. Wednesday the 29th. We were in Richmond, Virginia at the Canal Club, and we were really looking forward to the show. We really had just an expectation of what the Lord was going to do in Richmond. We get there, we hang out at Rye Hop, get prayed up, and Sean Gerard, one of the guys at Rye Hop, had a dream about us the night before. The night before we came and played, and in the dream, we're in the Canal Club, and I'm preaching from stage, and there's a woman, a witch, in the audience, and every time I speak, she speaks another word back at me, and it contends and it comes into conflict with my words, and it breaks and it pulls them down. And so we were praying before the show, and the Lord gave us a word for perversion and immorality and a Jezebel. So we go in there, and we decided during the interlude to change it up and do Freedom Reigns by Jason Upton. And from the beginning of the set, there's just, the atmosphere is open, the realm of impossibilities is open. We just felt like what those guys labor for at Rye Hop, right down the street, it's right around the corner, the Richmond International House of Prayer, with Sherry and Matt and Ben and those guys labor for, opened up the atmosphere, and we just stepped into it. So as soon as we started playing, the whole atmosphere just opened up, and so we went for it. And this right off the second song, I gave a word about addiction to pornography, and I just started to rebuke the spirit of immorality. And we went on and went into Freedom Reigns, and worship broke out. I'm telling you, the glory of God filled Canal Club. An altar to Jesus was built, and I can't even. It's hard to put into words. I tried. Josh and I tried to talk about it, and the other guys, and just no words. I mean, the atmosphere was open, and we played Freedom Reigns. Everybody was worshiping. There was kids laying down on the floor, just on their knees, prostrate. And then we went into Decades, and everybody just turned into a prayer meeting. We started praying for the ending of abortion. Everybody was with us. We ended with Awesome God, and when we played Awesome God, we went into a realm of worship. It was incredible. I mean, I got off stage and went on the floor, and everybody was dancing and just declaring the victory of Jesus in this generation. Ben Atkinson had a word before that Canal Club where we were playing was going to be a house of prayer. It was going to be a house of worship, and our worship was going to fill that house. We didn't even have a show at the Canal Club when he told me that. So we called them up and were like, hey, can we play here at the Canal Club? They said, well, we don't usually book bands unless it's a couple months out. But we kind of like you guys, so we'll book you a week out. So we booked the show a week out. Didn't know if anybody was going to show up. Probably about 70, 80 people showed up. And it was, Josh, come here.
Spirit of worship was in the place. I remember just like looking over and seeing people on their face, like crying out to God, and then people like dancing. There's just like, it seemed like a spirit of freedom,
yeah,
and just like high praise and exalting the Lord. And then, you know, because the presence came, like it really felt like there was just like a release of His presence, and then that brought up people like deliverance. There were several people that needed deliverance from addictions and from a lot of people from like pornography, and it really felt like there was a depth of like it wasn't just like a light thing. Like people were really getting full on deliverance and being set free from these strongholds. So, but yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, as soon as we got off stage, after I gave that word for the addiction to pornography, as soon as I stepped off stage, there was a line of about 4 or 5 people waiting. They said, "That's me." So I started praying. Josh and I started praying for him, and there was kids full on like spitting up demons and just like getting delivered, guys. And mainly it was addictions to pornography. It's a big thing we hit that night. And so then I was like, I told the guys after we went through deliverance, I was like, hey man, if you want to make war on this, we'll stand with you. There's a thing called X3 Watch. Get it, make me your accountability partner, and I'll call you, and I'll walk with you. The next morning I get up, and in my inbox are the guys we prayed for. All of them had signed up for X3 Watch and put my name on there. And so they're not only just getting deliverance, but they're making war on it. And so Richmond was amazing. That was Richmond. Thank you to Rye Hop and Ben Atkinson and Sherry for laboring. We just stepped into the fruit of your labors, dude. So thank you so much. We love you guys.